Virtually non-stop railroad action is visible from the front porch of the Station Inn. A westbound freight with a Union Pacific locomotive as its second unit meets a stopped train of hopper cars. Soon the westbound road railer train highballs through Crescent behind two units. The road railer has not cleared the area when it is met by an eastbound Amtrak train. No wonder the porch of Tom Davis's Station Inn often has a lineup of video and still cameras in action. For those watching for another perspective, an observation platform is available for viewing train action in Crescent. What should be rolling past this vantage point but an eastbound general merchandise freight with two units on the point? And the train is assisted by two helpers shoving on the rear coupler. The train comes to a stop in the Crescent yard. The conductor of the helper locomotives uncouples the engines from the rear of the train. The helpers are backed away from the train. The train is soon on its way without the helpers. A westbound train of hoppers at Crescent has 4 locomotives on the point. An eastbound train of general merchandise rolls over a grade crossing in Crescent. The ubiquitous pair of helpers brings up the rear of the train to wrap up our visit to Crescent. Until recently, Galitzin, at the summit of the Alleghenies, at over 2,000 feet in elevation, was the bottleneck in rail operations west of Altoona. A Pennsy caboose is now the base for observing train action from a small park at the west portal. The tunnels at Galitzin were the headache, in steam days because locomotive smoke and gases built up in the two parallel bores more rapidly than the gigantic fans at the east portal could clear the air, and more recently because they were too small to accommodate double-stack containers and other high cars. The tunnels were recently enlarged, eliminating clearance restrictions. We are atop the tunnels, watching an eastbound freight slowly enter the west portal. From above the east portal, an eastbound piggyback train shakes the ground as it emerges into daylight and heads down the east slope to Altoona. On the west side of the tunnel at Galitzin, an eastbound train pulled by two GE wide cab locomotives is about to enter the tunnel. The helpers are still attached to the rear of the train to help brake the heavy train as it descends the 12 miles of 1.8% grade to Altoona. An eastbound Conrail freight passes AR Tower in Galitzin. The tunnel portal is dead ahead as an eastbound merchandise freight bears down on the bore. An LMS leased locomotive is on the point of an eastbound at AR Tower.